And you're on.
Hey guys, happy Thursday. I'm here today with Rebecca Vaughan. We've been friends for a long time. So happy to have you here.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Yes, so you are now working for Catholic Charities, but your story really didn't start there. I would love to know, you've been in the nonprofit organization world for a long time. What got you into that?
Well, it's probably started back when I was staying home when my kids were young, and I just decided to volunteer. It was a good way to get out of the house and kind of cover down for people who can't volunteer because they work full time, just in my kids' schools and anywhere that really needed it. Obviously, Legacy Foundation is near and dear to my heart. So that was a
You
big
and
one
Nancy
for me.
were like the queen bees of nonprofit
That's
organizations.
right, Nancy. Yeah, Nancy and I, we did the Backpack Buddies program. I started there as a volunteer, and then was hired on to run the program, and I did that for 4 years. And it's just always just kind of been
That
in my
was
heart.
a very big program.
Yes,
Lots of amazing
very
things.
big program, and it still is, and it's being run wonderfully. Kristen Williams is over there. She took the helm, and she's doing a great job.
Yes. So, nonprofit world, Catholic Charities. Tell us a little bit. I think that we all see the shelter and kind of wonder what happens there or who's able to go there. Kind of what does that look like?
Absolutely. So the shelter itself was built in 2020, of course, during the COVID year. Before that, we were down the street a little bit off 95 in the Mission Shopping Center, and it was just a day used area for anybody who needed to get out of the heat, who needed a meal, who needed some water, or it just to get to some resources, so, to help them kind of better their lives and whatever was going on at the time. So in 2020, Catholic Charities came to the community. They worked with the city. They worked with the Legacy Foundation, a lot of organizations here in Bullhead to get that shelter built.
Yeah, this doesn't just happen.
No,
for
no,
sure.
it was a massive undertaking, and like I said, Legacy was a big part of that. The Stamper family, obviously, a big part of that. And then it was built, and of course, it was built, and then pretty much had to be shut down because of COVID. So that was a really rough year for everybody, but also the shelter. And then in 21, it was, we started opening back up and being able to really utilize the building the way it was initially intended to be utilized.
Very exciting. So, you guys have space for 3 families, 40 individuals, and 8 veterans.
Yes.
Those kind of come and day services. So those kind of come in different spaces for each kind of category, really.
Right. So our family shelter obviously is a huge deal, and it is separate from our regular shelter because we want to keep those kids kind of isolated and away from whatever else is going on. So if you look at our building, you can see our far right side. That's where our family shelter is, and it's got a nice little backyard. Right. You can see family shelter. It's got a nice backyard with some toys for the kids. It's safe. Room for 3 families. They've got a common living room, a kitchen and dining area, and then each family has their own room with a bathroom, and then there's also laundry services in there, of course, for those families.
Wow.
Yes.
Is that usually a short term?
So that can be up to 90 days while our housing case managers work with those families to get them housed.
And you were saying they kind of get reevaluated every 30 days.
Right. So for every 30 days, it's kind of, are you making progress? Are you working towards getting housed, getting employment, things like that? And, as long as you're showing effort for forward motion, then you get another 30 days and then another, and that'll max out at 90 days. And that's actually for all the shelters. So not just the family, but for we've got 20 men beds, 20 female beds, and then 8 veteran beds. 6 of those vet beds are for men, and then 2 of those vet beds are for females. Not, we don't typically have a lot of female veterans in there, but they're there if they're needed. Yes.
Wow. I didn't even realize it was 2 separate sides. I just picture this big, huge.
Absolutely. And so in the middle, so if you're driving by in the middle, there's program offices, and that's where you find all these case managers working very, very hard, offering resources to anybody who needs it. We have our veteran case managers. They do a lot of work out in the community with outreach, and they also do, if we get veterans in there who need housing. And then also if you're a veteran and you're facing eviction, they can help you with eviction prevention. So something that the community doesn't really see is that we're helping people not
behind the
become
scenes.
homeless. Yes.
Yeah.
So we're preventing homelessness with a lot of the veterans, because as we all know, after the pandemic, rents just went through the roof,
Yeah.
without any
No
top,
notice.
yeah, no notice. And,
Yeah.
and, and as far, they can go as high as the sky. So it's really scary, and veterans, senior citizens all live on a fixed income.
Yeah.
So, that was really scary. I'm glad that we have the shelter here to address that for everybody, not just veterans, for people to have a place to live where they can get back on their feet.
Yeah. So you mentioned the caseworkers. So even people who go in there for day services, those are things that can be evaluated. You can help them kind of on the flip side, try to refocus and get things taken care of.
Absolutely. So in our day use area, so it opens up at 9. So they can come in, they can take a shower, they can do a load of laundry, they can use our computers of course, with Wi-Fi to get hooked up to see if there's any jobs. Whenever there are job fairs, we're taking a van full of anybody who wants to go to those job fairs. We're connecting them with those resources.
Nice.
They can also get lunch and dinner. So, and if they're looking, they can talk to shelter staff. If they are looking for work, they're looking for housing resources, those are available.
Are they able to use your address if they don't have a home, or how does that work?
Absolutely. That's such a great question. A lot of times we get homeless people in and they've along the way lost their driver's license or they've lost their social security card. But to get those things mailed to you, because they're not always from Arizona,
Right.
they could be from California or neighboring state, you have to have an address. So absolutely, we let them use the shelter address, and then as mail comes in, it's distributed daily to those people who need it, which is a big help.
Yes, Jeff, let's show the picture at the Social Security office. I thought this was really interesting when we talked about it earlier. You guys actually will take a group to the Social Security office so that they are able to get those things.
Right. So this was last Thursday. Christine Lee, she's on the far right there. She's one of our PATH case managers, and she takes the van and anybody, so that we put a sign-up sheet inside the shelter. And if you need to get to Social Security, maybe your Social Security card has been lost or it's damaged, or you're entitled to benefits that you just didn't know how to apply for.
Yeah.
So we took that particular day, there was 8. We were there for an hour. Nobody had appointments. And so we got in and out. It was great. That Social Security office down there is fabulous. I was so impressed. I was like, wow.
Especially since it's the only one locally.
I know. And it's a very efficient place. Kudos to them.
Yes.
But everybody that came with us was able to get what they needed. Sometimes that's benefits. And, sometimes getting those benefits, getting your Social Security checks, is what helps
Requires the
you get, and that's what helps you get back on your feet.
Yeah.
And of course, they need an address. So we're of course more than willing to let them use that address because that's just really one of those first basic steps
Yeah.
of getting back on your feet.
Well, and I can only imagine, being that person who's just kind of stuck without
Stuck.
anything and doesn't know even where to start. So
Right.
they can come into you guys and kind of
Right.
even learn
Start
those
at the
first
very bottom
steps.
and just figure it out. We also have a really great program with the Lions Club of Bullhead City, who is funded by the Legacy Foundation, and they work with Mojave Eye Care. So we've had clients come in and they can't see well. They can't even see well enough to apply for a job or to be employed or to get a driver's license because, listen, you got to be able to see to get your driver's license.
Yeah.
So when those clients are identified, we fill out a form, our shelter staff fills out a form, and that goes on to the Lions Club. And they get them hooked up with Mojave Eye Center, who is giving them discounted eye exams. And then the Esler Vision Foundation, who is more of a national organization, pays for the eyeglasses. So the Lions Club pays for the exam, the discounted exam. And then that's getting them glasses. So it seems like kind of a basic thing, but if you cannot see, like where that has to be where you start. Then you
Yes.
can get a driver's license. Then you can apply for a job, things like that. So that's a great program that's here in Bullhead City that
Had
it just
no
is
idea.
very special. Yes, and like I said, the Lions Club, they're fabulous. They do an annual meat bingo fundraiser, and they're also funded partially through the Legacy Foundation, so kudos to them. And then Mojave Eye Center. So they're giving discounted exams, and that's
Talk about the community
incredible.
stepping up for each
Yes,
other,
so
right?
kudos to Mojave Eye Center. We love them for sure.
Yes,
Yes,
that is so exciting. I mean, it wouldn't even be something I think about.
right.
you know?
Right. I mean, we all just assume, hey, I'm not seeing well, I'm just going to go get some glasses or contacts, but it's just this very basic need, that needs to be met before really anything else can happen. And I'm just so proud of, all those organizations that work together,
Yeah.
of our shelter staff who identifies the people that need that. They might have glasses, but it could be an old prescription. I had a gentleman, David, who was willing to share his story with us, and he said, and he's in our shelter now, and he says, well, I just didn't understand why I had a constant headache for a year.
Oh, he
And
just needed new
he needed
glasses.
new glasses. And through that program, he got new glasses, and now he can apply for jobs and get his driver's license. So
Oh,
basic things, basic things.
yes. I
Yes,
mean, you
great
think
things
about a roof
happening.
over your head and you think about food, obviously you can understand those spaces, but
Right.
you
Glasses,
don't even think
yeah.
about dental care, eye
Yeah,
care.
exactly. So these are some great programs happening inside of our shelter, our case managers, and then outside programs with just entities in the community that really want to help. And together, we're all kind of working together to get people back on their feet, if that's what they're looking to do. You know,
We talked a little bit about sometimes they're not looking for anything more except for a shower and food and
right? Sometimes they could be just looking for a meal and a shower and some fellowship. To use our day use center, you don't have to be homeless. Okay, so if you're housed, but that housing is taking every penny of your paycheck or your social security check or whatever it is that you're getting, and you're hungry, well, you can come in every day and you can get a meal. You can get 2 meals actually.
wow.
And if you come in and it's not, if it's, you've kind of missed the window on lunch and it's not quite dinner, well, we have sack lunches that volunteers prepare. It's got a sandwich, a fruit, a granola bar, water. Same if you're housed, but you don't have hot water because you can't pay your gas bill, but you're still
In
prioritizing your
need.
rent,
Yeah.
so that you're not homeless and you need a hot shower. Come on in. You need to do a little laundry. Come on in. I mean, we're here for everybody.
Wow.
And that's really important. So our day use center is for everybody. Like I said, if you just need a meal or you need some friendship, some fellowship, just some camaraderie, come on in. We're here for you.
So, March 2024's numbers.
Yes.
When you talk about these different sections of what you guys offer, I mean, these numbers are
Right.
wild.
So, right. So on the bed nights, I just want to explain. So on a breakdown, so there's 31 days in March. So you divide that by 31, and then that pretty much equals out to full every night. Like I said, we're pretty much, our beds are full. And then clothing. So anytime anybody needed clothing, that happened 276 times in 1 month.
1 month.
265 computer uses, and that's people looking for jobs or looking to get their benefits. Loads of laundry, showers. When you come in, you're given a clean towel. You're given a bottle of
I got
soap, a bottle
goosebumps.
of shampoo, so that you can do that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, over there on the right is our meal served, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and sack meal. That meal I was just telling you about. If you come in kind of in between. And then referred for additional services like we talked about with case managers. That happened 120 times just in March. Yeah, we got some amazing people working in there.
Wow.
There's
I'm a little speechless. Those
It's
are
great.
big numbers
Huge.
for a community that you
Huge.
don't. It's easy for a lot of us to think that there is not homeless people or children. It's easy to kind of,
Out
not
of
really
sight, out of
acknowledge
mind.
it. Yes,
Yeah.
because we don't live in
Yeah.
an area that it's so prominent with people
Right.
on the streets just
Right.
there. So
This
those numbers are kind of mind blowing.
Yes, they are. And, whenever we can, it's important to remember we work closely with Mike Connor over at River Fund. And so if there's somebody
Love
here
Mike.
who wants to get home, and they're not from here, they came here on vacation, they got stuck here, or whatever happened for them to be homeless here, and they've got family, even if it's in Maine. Well, we work really closely with Mike, and oftentimes we can get them on a bus or a plane, and we are getting them back home. And that's all done through River Fund. We're just connecting. So when I say we,
Yeah.
all the credit there goes to River Fund. That's such a great program. And if somebody's here and they want to go home, we're going to get them home.
And that could be due to domestic violence, being a
Absolutely.
veteran. I mean,
Absolutely.
so many loss of family members,
Yeah,
so many different things.
they thought they were going to drive out to California and make it big, and it just didn't work out. They've got family on the East Coast. I mean, there's a million different things that can go wrong, and sometimes people just need a little help.
Yeah.
you know, and what we like to say over at Catholic Charities is we're offering a hand up, not a hand out. So while yes, we're going to give you a meal and yes, we're going to give you a shower, we're going to say, what else can we do? How else can we get you back on your feet and on the road to living, you know, in a self-sufficient manner?
Yeah.
And
Well, and
you
I
know,
can imagine for maybe a lot of them, maybe they come in at first just looking for a meal and just looking for a shower, and then eventually they build trust
right.
because you. I'm assuming you see the same people.
Yes, and I'm
You
so
know.
glad you said trust because it does take some time. You know, it's not about just plucking somebody off the street and saying, "Hey, let's get you this, or let's get
Yeah.
you this, or let's figure it out." It takes time to build that trust and to figure out what it is that they need exactly and how we can help them. And if we can't, we can usually connect them with somebody who can. You know, we've got Southwest Behavioral, Mojave Mental Health. We've got West Care. We've got all these great resources in Bullhead. We're actually very lucky. And if you've never had, you know, to deal with any of that, you might not
Don't know.
know. But
Yeah.
Bullhead is full of just fantastic resources. Like I said, from River Fund all the way down to our behavioral health specialists. We have a quality of life court here, you know, and that's a big deal. That's probably for another episode because that's a whole big thing. But in a nutshell, it's we work with the judge and if you're invited to be part of this quality of life court, just because you've got some misdemeanors or some fines, you can work a program with phases to help better yourself, and they'll reduce your fees. And if you work that program, your fees will go down all the way down to
Wow.
zero. Yep. Yeah. Like there's so many
Talk
entities
about
here.
using the community and being able to
Yes,
benefit each
this
other.
is a fabulous community when it comes to just helping people, giving them a hand up, and helping them better themselves. And we see it all the time over at the shelter. I know from the outside it might be hard to see, but
Yeah.
we're seeing it daily. Of course, I'd love to share those stories every day on our social media, but we do respect the privacy of everybody. And if somebody's willing to talk to me and feels comfortable, great. If not, you
That's
know, this
okay.
is their own private journey, and we really want to respect that. But we are seeing some really great things, and we've got some fabulous people working there. You
Yeah,
see us
because
out?
that's really so those numbers are what you kind of do inside the building. But so much happens outside of the building
Right.
with all of your caseworkers in placing veteran families in homes. And so it's not just a stop at what happens in the building.
Right. That's a great point. So Catholic Charities as a whole has like 20 programs, and just in our area alone, we have the foster care program. We've got our veteran services. We've got our housing services. Our PATH program, which is a program to help specifically those struggling with severe mental illness. So they have some different resources for that. Of course, veterans is a big one. And so we have all these programs that are kind of working, and it doesn't just because you haven't walked in and needed a bed doesn't mean you're not eligible or welcome to use those programs. Not at all. We're multifaceted and helping, like I said, really whoever needs it, you know, and whoever
Uh,
wants it.
yeah.
I know. Yeah.
It's neat because you can help them connect the dots,
Yes.
you know, which normally people just need help connecting the dots.
Oftentimes, you know, I mean, just in our own lifetimes, you know, when we graduated high school, we didn't have a cell phone.
No.
I didn't have a cell phone.
Barely had a car.
I pretty much was typing those essays on a typewriter. So if you think about it, anybody in that shelter that's our age or older,
Yeah.
they might not understand that they need to get on their computer to apply for Social Security, or that's a way to streamline it, or how to work a computer, or, you know, or
Yeah.
know how to work a cell phone. You know, so it's like the world has really advanced in the
You're
past
right.
20 years, and sometimes they just need help catching up. You know, like,
Yeah.
hey, you know, I'm a veteran myself. I get my veteran benefits through an online portal. Okay, but a Vietnam veteran might not understand that that's how they need to go about doing it.
Yeah.
You know, because that's, you know, and there's not a veteran office here in Bullhead. So it's like, it, how do they do it? They need help, you know,
They need
and
help.
we're just here to help them, you know, and connect them to the resources.
I love it.
Yeah.
You guys have just started this water program, and I know this is a very big deal, especially going into it the hot summer. Let's
Yes.
talk about that.
So we're having a water drive, and this is something that typically happens in this spring is that, you know, we are a cooling station for the city, and we have people in there just all year long during the day, a lot of people. So we need water. So we are just holding a water drive now. We're just welcoming anybody in the community who feels called to give, to bring in a case of water, if they can, or however much they can, to the just directly to the shelter. And we really appreciate it. If you do bring it in and you'd like to be highlighted on our social media, I'm happy, more than happy to do that. Or if you just want to drop off a case of water every now and again, because it's a lot of water. A lot of water that we need. We got to keep everybody hydrated and cooled down, for safety. So anybody.
Well, it's nice because you can do something, even if it's one case of water, that changes.
Yes,
If
absolutely.
20 people bring one case of water, that's a lot of water.
That's a lot of water. Absolutely. And we all know how hot it gets here. It's
Yes.
already hot.
It is already
Yes.
hot. I had my AC on last night. I was like, oh, great.
Yeah, it's time, guys. We're here. There's getting snow in the Midwest, but we're at 100 degrees. So yes, water, water,
gosh.
water. We will be collecting water all summer long. And you're welcome to just drop it off at the shelter. If you want to contact me, I'll come pick it up.
Or contact me. I'll get the
like,
information to
I'll
Rebecca.
just come and pick it up. I don't care where you're at. We just need the water.
How about clothes and food and items like of that sort?
Great question. So, clothing donations are great. We don't have a lot of space in our shelter, because most of all of our shelter space is used with people.
Yeah.
So we have this really great program with Autumn over there at the Boys and Girls Club.
Another
And,
connection. Look it.
Surprise, surprise. Autumn's part of this puzzle.
Makes sense.
So she does. She has provided us with vouchers.
For the thrift stores.
For the thrift
Boys
store.
and Girls Club.
Yeah, so look at how we're doing it. So if you've got a large amount of clothing, the best thing to do if you want to help everybody is to take it to the Boys and Girls Thrift Club on Hancock, because that's the one we refer our clients to, just proximity. And then if they need clothing items, or they're moving into if we got them housed. Well, a lot of times we're housing people, but they don't have stuff. They've got a backpack, so they might need some dishes or some, just some basic things. And we're able to use those vouchers through Autumn and the Boys and Girls Club to help them out. So we hand them out at the shelter. They can take them down to the thrift store, and it's another really strong and necessary community partnership that we, of course, are very grateful for.
Yeah.
So I guess my point is, if you have a large amount of donations in clothes or household goods, the best place would be to go to the thrift store. Yes. If you have like big furniture, call us directly. And we might be in the process of housing somebody that could use, couches and tables, chairs, kitchen tables, things like that. If you've got stuff like that and you want to donate it, give me a call the shelter directly. I know the shelter number will be up.
Yes. Jeff, will you go to their Facebook page really quick? So obviously we all use Facebook, on Instagram as well.
We are not on Instagram.
Okay.
We are building a little thing here,
Working
and then
on
I
it.
think we might get transferred over.
So like this, share this. I mean, one of the biggest ways that we can help each other is by liking and sharing pages. So if you have questions, if you have concerns,
Yes.
if you want to know what's going on, if you want to know what the numbers look like, you can visit this page and that
Right, and
information will be
it's me. So that page
That's
is controlled
It's a
by
lot of
me.
work.
You guys want to talk to me? There it is.
There you go.
It's not. I mean, I welcome anybody's help in dispersing the correct information about what's happening at the shelter and what's available at the shelter. So that page is a great way to do it. In the last 4 months, we've really picked up on posts and information.
Yeah.
So really great spot. And of course, on that page is our number to our office there at the shelter. And like I said, if you have large donations and you want to help somebody who's getting a new house, then call that number and we will get it where it needs to go.
Yes. So I ask again, please please share
Yes.
that. You may think it's something simple, but it could help somebody
Right.
who doesn't know,
Right. Yeah. Just getting that resource out there. Like we were saying, like Facebook is just really one of our big communication tools.
Yeah.
I've noticed, especially in the city, like, if I want to know something, I usually can find it on Facebook. I can
Yeah.
just search in that business's name or whatever. And that's really what our goal is with our Facebook page. But we need some more followers and likes.
Yes.
So come over, follow me on that page, and it's me, and I will, I'm open to, if you're looking for information or you have an idea about some information that can be put out there, I'm open to hear it. We're, like I said, we're just now kind of growing this page, and we need all of you to help us grow it.
Yes. I think it's also a great point of contact. If you
Yeah,
have
absolutely.
someone that you're concerned about, or, maybe just need information for somebody,
Yes.
that's a great place to get
For
it.
sure. So we do have an automated response for messages. So go ahead and go there, look for, you can find the information. But messaging is not as efficient as just calling that number
There you go.
and just reaching out to me. I'll make sure my email's on that page as well. I think it is. But and that way, you can call me directly, guys. Email me, call me, see me in Target.
Yeah.
We're all
You know
everywhere.
you don't go anywhere
Yeah.
without a
You've seen
conversation.
me in Target.
We've ran into
I've
you,
seen
yes.
it.
Well, I appreciate you for coming so much, and thank you for the information. I think it's very easy to come up with our own ideas of what is going on there. But the
Absolutely.
information that you just shared, I think, is really mind blowing. And
Yes.
you're changing lives. So now we as a community know how we can help and kind of be a part of that as well.
Yes, and we are open to that help. And we just, if you see us out there at a tabling event, at a resource fair or tabling, just stop by and say hi. And, you can also find the information about how to volunteer if you'd like to volunteer at the shelter. That's on our Facebook page. Our most recent post there has a link directly to our volunteer website.
Nice.
Like we just really want to be well integrated into the city.
Yeah.
So
Well,
come on.
thank you so much for coming. I
Thank you.
appreciate you.
Yes, it was
Hey
fun.
guys,
I
thank you for
appreciate
showing
it.
up today. Support local, shop local. What a great way to volunteer or be able to take an item. But if you're looking for a way to help, now you know.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Thanks.
Have a good day.